Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by and following me and subscribing and all that good stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about today that we've talked about movement of open chords up the neck, like we started, with E, and how you can move that up the neck as that type of bar chord. We talked about A and moving that up, and we actually talked about at one of the lessons the different shapes that you can move up. Some you can't. C you can move it up and just play it in the middle four strings. But the main one I want to concentrate on today is the D. All right, so when I was starting back in 69, 70, the Who were really popular. Their rock opera they called Tommy came out, the record Live at Leeds, My Generation. They had a lot of great tunes out there that were being played, and Pete Townshend, he liked to move that D around with up the neck, into different chords, but keeping that D note. Okay, so we're concentrating just a little bit today. We're not playing the E and the A note. We're just going to play the D, and we're going to move around a little bit with the D and explain it to you a little bit. These are some of the things that I'm trying to tell you that I've learned like over 50 years ago. And I'm not going back and relearning all of that stuff. I'm trying to just go by memory on some of it. So this is not going to be exactly, what Pete Townshend played in Pinball Wizard. At Tommy. It's not in Pinball Wizard. And I don't have the exact song, but he liked to use this quite a bit in different songs. It's probably In My Generation and some of the other songs on Tommy that he would like to do like... Okay, so you could play around with it. It's just kind of like showing you that you can move that D chord, keeping the D going. And when we moved it up a whole step, you were playing an E chord with that D note. We moved it up a little farther to F. Remember F? Okay, and we got that D in there. Now, we showed you how to figure out, what you're doing or what the notes are or what chord you're playing by talking to you about learning the major scale in different positions on the neck, on the E string and the A string mainly. So let's like for example, okay, we're doing, this is like we talked about, major chords are 3 notes, okay? Minor chords are 3 notes, okay? Let's just say with C. Remember, there's so many redundant notes when you play a full bar chord, okay? Or even an open chord down in the first position. Sometimes you don't need all of those redundant notes, okay? If you're playing by yourself and you're singing or whatever, you may need all 6 strings. But look at this. This is a C bar chord, right? Well, look, there's a C here, there's a C here, and there's a C here. So you're playing the C note 3 times, okay? It's not needed. It's redundant. It's fine, for power chords and, if the song needs it. But, when I talk to you about Steely Dan, they have so many, chords in their songs because they don't want the guitar player using all 6 strings. They want them to use 3 strings, 4 strings, and different, options, okay? So we talked about you got a C, you got an F, and you got an E, okay? You got a C. Okay, so you got the E is the third. C, D, E is your third. F is your fourth, okay? And then G is your fifth. Okay, so that's what you need for the major chord, 1, 3, and 5. So you can figure that out with minor, major, or minor or your major, 3 notes, and do the scale, and you can figure out if it's the 1, 2, whatever it is. So we're talking about doing the F chord, but we're adding a D. All right, so let's just go up here and do the major scale and see where the D is. So we got F is the 1, G is the 2, A is the 3, A sharp is the 4, C is the 5, D is the 6. Okay, so we're doing an F major chord and we're putting in a D. We're doing F major 6. And the F and the 6th note, that D, just happens to be the bottom note or the first note you hear. And that's how we go about learning, what you're doing with your chords, whether you're putting a 2nd in, a 6th in, a 7th in. So you can play these variations of D up the neck. You can know what chord you're playing because hopefully from my chromatic scale class, you learned all the notes on the fretboard, but if not, we'll go back over that at another time. We just wanted to talk about the D today and how you can move it up the neck and play every single chord, as far as major, or, whether it's, F sharp, or you can go to all of them. Listen to Tommy and listen to some of Pete Townshend from the late 60s, early 70s, and you'll see how he's moving his D chord around with that droning D and utilizing different chords up and down the neck. See you next time.